Controversial Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth appeared before the Senate Armed Services Committee this week for his long-awaited confirmation hearing. And he faced tough questioning from Democratic senators over his views on women in the military, his comments on military rules and norms, and numerous allegations about past misbehavior. The contentious hearing was the final test for Hegseth, a National Guard veteran and a Fox News commentator who soon could be leading the Pentagon's $850 billion budget, as well as 2 million troops and 800,000 civilian defense workers. Hegseth was an unconventional pick from the start by President-elect Trump. He doesn't have any major Pentagon leadership experience, and he doesn't have a background in leading any large organizations, anything the size of the Pentagon. But at his confirmation hearing, Hegseth said his lack of traditional experience will allow him to help shake up the Pentagon and refocus the military on core missions like lethality and warfighting.
When President Trump chose me for this position, the primary charge he gave me was to bring the warrior culture back to the Department of Defense. He, like me, wants a Pentagon laser-focused on lethality, meritocracy, warfighting, accountability, and readiness. To bring back warfighting, if confirmed, I'm going to work with President Trump and this committee to, one, restore the warrior ethos to the Pentagon and throughout our fighting force. In doing so, we will reestablish trust in our military, addressing the recruiting crisis, the retention crisis, and readiness crisis in our ranks.
Now, Democrats on the committee have already called Hegseth woefully unqualified for this cabinet post. They pointed to his past inflammatory comments claiming women should not hold combat jobs and allegations of misbehavior and mismanagement at previous posts leading veterans nonprofits.
Why should women in our military, if you were the Secretary of Defense, believe that they would have a fair shot and an equal opportunity to rise through the ranks if on the one hand you say that women are not competent, they make our military less effective, and on the other hand you say, oh no, now that I've been nominated to be the Secretary of Defense, I've changed my view on women in the military. What do you have to say to the almost 400,000 women who are serving today about your position on whether they should be capable to rise through the highest ranks of our military?
Senator, I would say I would be honored to have the opportunity to serve alongside you, shoulder to shoulder, men and women, black, white, all backgrounds, with a shared purpose. Our differences are not what define us. Our unity and our shared purpose is what define us, and you will be treated fairly and with dignity, honor, and respect, just like every man and woman in uniform, just like the men and women that I've worked with in my veterans organizations, to include when I was a headquarters and headquarters company commander in the Minnesota National Guard.
Well, I appreciate your 11th hour conversion.
Hegseth has flatly denied those allegations, and he sparred frequently with Democratic lawmakers during the hearing. He said the military has become too focused on irrelevant activities like diversity and climate change, and he promised to follow through on Trump's plans to boost military funding and increase strength.
First and foremost, we will defend our homeland, our borders, and our skies. Second, we will work with our partners and allies to deter aggression in the Indo-Pacific from the Communist Chinese. And finally, we will responsibly end wars to ensure that we prioritize our resources to reorient to larger threats. We can no longer count on reputational deterrence. We need real deterrence. The Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength. And in pursuing these America First national security goals, will remain patriotically apolitical and stridently constitutional. Unlike the current administration, politics should play no part in military matters. We are not Republicans. We are not Democrats. We are American warriors. Our standards will be high and they will be equal, not equitable. That's a very different word. I've led troops in combat. I've been on patrol for days. I've pulled the trigger downrange, heard bullets whiz by, flex-cuffed insurgents, called in close air support, led medevacs, dodged IEDs, pulled out dead bodies, and knelt before a battlefield cross. This is not academic for me. This is my life. I led then, and I will lead now.
Democrats don't have enough votes on their own to block Hegseth's nomination, thanks to Republicans taking control of the Senate majority in the last election. Republicans have generally supported the nomination, but this week's confirmation hearing was seen as a key moment to calm any fears about Hegseth's temperament or his policies. During the hearing, Hegseth pledged to fix the Pentagon's business practices and restore the military's ability to confront adversaries, which he claimed has weakened in recent years. Trump's inauguration is set for January 20th. Hegseth's unlikely to be confirmed before that date, but he could end up in place shortly afterwards if Republicans have the votes in the Senate to get him confirmed. For Military Times, I'm Leo Shane.
You can check out all of Leo's coverage of that and other hearings at militarytimes.com.